Thanks very much, Chair. Look, I have long been highlighting the importance of community banking, and have previously called for the Government to expand the remit and authority of our credit unions. And I would like to take the opportunity today then to welcome the Credit Union Amendment Bill, which has been introduced by my colleague Marian Harkin, and I would like to thank Deputy Harkin for bringing this very important bill forward. And I'd just like to comment just on what the Minister said. I don't think there's any danger of the Government raising expectations within the credit union sector anyway, so there's no worry on that regard in relation to his speech anyway. It is vital that credit unions have the support needed in order to provide proper community banking services and to offer a sufficient alternative to the mainstream banks. Following 2007, people in this country understandably have no faith and no trust in the banks, who are so far removed from our local communities and from the community's wants and needs. We need to ensure that there is an alternative banking service that people can actually trust, and people trust our credit unions. Fine Gael, in particular the former Minister for Finance, Michael Noonan, did all they could to limit credit unions and to drive people to the banks, but the value of community banking cannot be overstated, and the Irish people know this. Credit unions need to be pulled into modern days, however, and the unnecessary bureaucracy and restrictions they face needs addressing. I recently met with the Ross's Credit Union in Dunloe, who explained to me the limitations these restrictions have on them. We need to allow credit unions the ability to provide more modern financial services to suit modern-day needs, and I believe that this bill takes the necessary steps to ensure this. I support this legislation to amend certain provisions of the Credit Union Act 1997 and its intention to allow credit unions greater flexibility to order or offer a wider range of services and without needing specific central bank approval on each occasion. I also support the establishment of a credit union committee, which could be set up to review the impact of central bank policy on credit unions and to provide feedback to the central bank on their policy development process. You'd imagine this would already have been part of the system, but obviously not. It is important that credit unions have the ability to provide feedback and have some sort of say in how they operate. I support the requirement of the central bank to get consent from the Minister when prescribing the minimum regulatory reserve requirement for credit unions, and the requirement that the central bank administers the system of regulation and supervision of credit unions in an appropriate manner. In short, we need to take away the absolute power of the central bank in dictating how credit unions are run. Independently run credit unions, which make their own decisions at a local level, tailored specifically to suit the best interests of its members, are far more equipped in knowing and dealing with the needs of their own communities than the bankers sitting over in the central bank here in Dublin are. These bankers are completely out of touch with local people and have no real care, want or interest in the community and growth and needs and succeeds. Credit unions in my constituency of Donegal are invaluable. Constituents rely on community banking to access loans that mainstream banks won't even dream of considering for them. Many of the businesses in my own community exist due to the funding provided by our local credit union, whose sole interest is not in making profits for the stock markets or shareholders, but to see the community actually thrive. As a member of the credit union myself and of the community, I have seen the incredible impact of a not-for-profit, member-owned financial institution with a community-based and voluntary ethos has had in my own town of Killybegs and indeed many towns across Donegal. And these institutions are more important than ever now with the recent closure of so many banks across the county. It has been announced in the last few months that 5 Bank of Ireland branches in Bunbeg, Bundoran, Dunloe, Glenties and Moville will be closing. This is a huge blow to my constituents, especially in South West Donegal, who have been continuously let down time and time again. And we also see now the wind down of Ulster Bank, which will take place over the next year, which will see the removal of all their services as well. So we need our credit unions here now more than ever, and so we need to ensure that credit unions actually have the ability to provide the same financial services to constituents as banks, without the restrictions that they currently face. If the Government is serious about actually wanting to revitalise our communities, then I strongly believe that credit unions are an effective way to do this. Credit unions want to evolve and they want to change to suit modern-day banking. But in order for them to do that, we need to address the regulatory roadblocks we put in their path, and I believe that this bill is a step in the right direction in doing that. It's about time that we recognise our credit unions as the invaluable institutions that they are, institutions that serve the people and not the markets. And that's the thing that has to be in memory and should be at the Government's forefront at all times, is serving the people rather than serving the markets, because it's certainly not what's happening. Thank you. Thanks.